In today's video, we'll be covering what happened with inflation in Southwest Florida, a real estate market update for Southwest Florida of the March of 2023, mortgage rate, retails, and so much more. My name is Anna Eckstein with Naples Ultimate Selling Team MVP Realty, and let's start. All right, so where we will start, there's so much to cover, what's going on with our economy. And I would like to start actually with two articles that I found one recently that was dated on April 12, 2003, when Mr. Powell said that my recession is now likely this year. Federal government says the economy will take a hit as a result of recent bank turmoil and minutes from the central bank show. So, interesting that part that it's not interesting, it's very alarming, because if you really think the federal government is warning us that there's potential mild recession is coming our way. Also, interesting enough, I did find the article that was dated back in April 10, 2008, and interest was like 2 days apart, right? And at that time, Federal Reserve Chairman Ben Bernanke said the U.S. economy could face a mild recession, but the growth should pick up as the impact of aggressive interest rate cuts are felt. And that was, guys, in April 10, 2008. And as you know, that was not a mild recession. At that time, I was full-time real estate agent in Naples, Florida. And I'm telling you this, that was a scary moment to get up every day for years, for me personally. And also, it was so scary because, the crisis that I saw myself back then, it was unimaginable, that I would never imagine myself to see. So I hope we will never face the crisis that we faced back in 2008 and 2009. But I just thought was very interesting to share with you these two articles that was posted, and this article posted in 2023. So anyway, moving forward, also something that I would like to share with you, that's something concerning and alarming to me as a consumer. As you know, the OPEC announced that they will be cutting the production over a little bit over 1 million barrels a day, starting, I believe, in May. And this is article I came across dated April 13, 2023. Is actually a prediction that the cutback will help the downstream price, actually 2 million barrels a day. The curbs may also cost 2 million barrels draw in the fourth quarter, that we will have a surplus cut agreed by the OPEC. It put the global market on a track to hefty surplus deficit of 2 million barrels for the second quarter. That's really concerning, because as we're going into summer season and a lot of the Americans like to take those road trips and everything, that definitely will impact our gas pricing. But in my opinion, it's not only the gas pricing, but it's also one of the factors for the inflation. As we guys been tracking inflation for quite some time, we know the inflation been going down months over months, which is a good sign, and we will review the data just in a little bit. But what the interesting part, that one of the fuel for the inflation is actually the oil pricing. And the article like this is just very alarming and something that we need to pay attention. And I do have to share with you the pricing for the gas that you can see clearly since they announced the cutting of the oil production. You can see that months ago, the average price, and here's the map basically for the United States, you can see the breakdown. Different states obviously have different price range for the gas, but you can see on average, the price month ago was $3.44. Week ago, it was $3.42. yesterday, I did print this as of today, was $3.67, and currently average is $3.68. Something that we definitely see the gasoline prices is on a rise. And interesting part, I just wanted kind of to share that something that I wasn't aware actually by looking at this article, not the article, but this site, that we had the pricing over $5 for the regular gas, and it's super high, on June 14th, 2022. That was the highest one. So anyway, just wanted to share. If you do like to track the prices, this is the website called gasprices.aaa.com. So anyway, let's move forward and cover our inflation rate. So for the months of March, so as a video I'm recording today is obviously April 19, and also just wanted to share with you that the inflation in United States for the month of March is definitely been slowing down and going down, and we had the inflation for the month of March down to the 5%. The forecast was 5.2%, so we definitely was beating forecast, which is nice. And the previous inflation for the month of February was 6%. Now, for inflation, something that was really interesting for me, because this is the first time since I've been covering the inflation that core inflation, for matter of fact, is higher compared to a regular inflation. And if you wonder what the difference is, the core inflation is inflation less volatile items such as food and energy. And it's actually went up higher to 5.6% compared to February of 5.5%. And it's rose month after month by 0.4%. So I was like, something that the number, like I couldn't see no news covering that, and I couldn't really understand that much, like what that really mean for the economy. So I started Googling, and I have ChatGPT, and I call him Chatty. So anyway, I asked Chatty, like, what they really mean, why the core inflation, first time that I start covering the inflation, is actually higher compared the actual inflation rate. And so there was different, actually, a couple different answers. So the one, he said that it's actually actual inflation could be signaling that it's on the rise. Also, some of the Google searches was the deflation of the dollar. So the signs of something that it was kind of not very pleasant to read, because the signs that core inflation is exceeding now the actual inflation rate, it's quite alarming. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you. So this is the table that I like always to share with you, so you can kind of go on months, what's going on months of the months. And if you really think about, you see this item is all items less food and energy. So that's the core inflation right here. That's the chart is represent. And as you can see, if you look the chart, the items like above that, all items, you can see that in March, they are significantly actually less compared to the February. You can see food away actually went down minus 0.3. Some of the energy, obviously the energy was one of the big factor why our inflation actually going down, because as you know, the oil was so low, the electricity went down. So that was definitely good signs, but our less food and energy inflation is still considerably high and look like it's very sticky. And also something that federal government tried to fight so hard is our shelter inflation. And you can see that it still is so high, on the rise at the 0.6%. That's our rent and items, things like that. So if we're going into the producer price indexes, definitely there is really good sign, because the inflation on producer price is actually going down underway quite a bit. You can see that in March, it's been down to 2.7 compared to 4.9. Core was down as well really nicely, 3.4 to 4.8. So what that means to us, that that producer is cutting prices, they have more inventory, so they have to get rid of the inventory. And so that's really what they're reflecting. And what that will be reflecting also on the next month, the inflation also, because if the producer is cutting their prices, it will be reflecting on consumer as you know, as we're following. So the non-farm payroll, something that we always cover as well on the channel, and the federal government, as we all know, try to put inflation down, and they try to basically restrict it to softening economy. And one of the factors how they try to soften an economy is actually employment. So you can see that we are below estimation forecast of 239,000 jobs that was estimated, but we still quite a bit created the jobs of 236,000 in the month of March, and our unemployment rate actually went down from 3.6 to 3.5. The retail sales, you can start seeing. So it's interesting because I pay attention, and it's different economic indicators. They're all over the place. You can see some is still considerably really strong. Some you can see really weakening in the economy. And you can see the retail is actually went down so much. Well, it's still up 2.9, right? But compared to the month of February that we had 5.8, so there's significant decrease for the month of March. And it's the smallest actually increase since June of 2020. So the retail sales month over month actually sunk by 1%, and you can see the rest of the month what they've been doing for the past year. So the housing, let's start talking about the housing starts and permitting. So you can see in March also we have softening in building permits. A month over month actually sunk by 8.8% compared to 15.8% that was up in February. The housing starts also you can see softening there, and housing starts month after month you can see decline as well. So mortgage rate, where are we at on the mortgage rate? So mortgage rate we're always covering by the week, and this week we're covering the end of the week of April 14. And our mortgage rates for that week rose to 6.43%. That would be on a 30-year fixed rate with loan balances a little bit above $726,000. Mortgage application declined to 8.8% in the months of March and April, ending. I'm sorry, it's not much. It's a week ending of April 14 of 2023. That's the mortgage application. So mortgage refinance index fell to 5.8% in April, week of the April 14, and purchase index fell by the 10% for the same week. So what happened with the home pricing? I think there's so many stories. I think a lot of people, when they're reading news, and I think like so many people anticipating this market crash, we will some of the headlines, obviously we can see the housing market would plunge to 20%. The risk of 15% to 20% decline, it says by Moody's, right? So there was so much anticipation, the real estate market decline, but that's what I really like to show to you, the local stats. But before we jump on that, I like to share with you the inventory on in a general level, that this is the inventory of existing homes actually being in decline of 2.8% in the state of Florida overall, and this is based March 2003. So we still continue losing the inventory, and that's one of the factors, I think. Well, there's many factors involved when it comes to the housing market, And this is economy is very interesting because in my opinion, before we see, I think, residential prices, I think we will see first commercial weakness. And the reason why, because there's billions of dollars would be expired, the loan refinancing that would be due between 2023. And if you like, I can bring you better stats because I'm just talking, I think it was like 8 billion, if I remember right, but don't quote me on that. I have to maybe bring you the stats next time when I will be covering this, but they will be expiring those refi that you need to do for the commercial real estate. And think about if the business has already been struggling with this economy and their revenue, their income being reduced due to the inflation and the consumer spending and all of that. Like, for example, we had a Tesla, the first quarter earnings announcement today was, a little bit after 4 o'clock, and you can see weaknesses there. And Tesla alone has to cut 6 times already the price on the car to keeping up with the demand and to keeping up with continue grow as a company. And that would also reflecting on, on the income, on the revenue of the company. So think about all of these businesses, let's say, who need to refinance, if they're already struggling with the economy and now they have to refinance, and before the interest rate they had obviously was not 6-7% where we have right now. They have to increase their debt without increasing their income. So I think there's a lot of weaknesses we will see there first, and we'll see how far that can go. So anyway, so would like to show to you our local data for Southwest Florida. And as always, we're comparing Naples, Marco Island, Bonita Springs, and Estero. And we're comparing what happened in March of 2023 compared to a year ago and compared to 1 month ago. So on the left, it's obviously a year ago. And on the right, it's obviously 30 days ago, right? So let's start with the active inventory. So you can see across the board, and by watching my real estate report, I think there's no surprises that you can see that increase of the inventory definitely for Southwest Florida across the board. I don't think we can argue that much. Pretty much everything is over 100% more inventory. Also, month over month, you kind of, for most of the parts, I think we all agree that it's a little bit increase of the inventory. A few places in Naples on single family homes, and then Marco, you can kind of see a slight decrease month over month, but overall you can see that definitely Southwest Florida got so much more inventory in the 2023 compared to a year ago. Also, new listings. So new listings is a listing that would come on the market in March of 2023, and you can see that agreeably, we can see decrease of the new listings. And I think maybe they have to do that. There was more motivated sellers, I think, maybe in 2022 would be to put the properties on the market, those ones who may necessarily needed to sell the property, but just say, hey, if I can, get the profit, really nice numbers, really nice equity in my house, then maybe I just put and see if I can sell it. If I can sell it, it's great. If not, then, so be it. So that's the reason why you see some of the numbers is down compared to March to a year ago. I mean, this is just my opinion. The February, the month over month, you can see majority they are increase, except Marco Island. We did decrease on the new listings in the month of March. And I think maybe you have to do with a lot of that. We have very seasonal market, and many sellers who would think to maximize the sale of the property for a shorter period of time, but also for as much the equity as possible to to retrieve. I think that would put probably somewhere right after holidays, like early in January. So March is kind of the end of the tail of our seasonality. So a lot of the people will be pretty soon, especially in some neighborhoods, will be retrieving their homes unless they really have truly intention to sell sooner than later. But a lot of to do, I think, with the seasonality. That's why some of the numbers for February, you can see some down, some higher, so kind of all over the place. The month supply of inventory, so that's how an average would be for the seller to sell the property. So every neighborhood, of course, will be slightly different, but this is just basically average. And compared to a year ago in March of 2023, you can see that. And again, because we have way more inventory now, so we take a longer to sell homes, you can see as much as 332% on the single family homes in Marco Island, as much over 200% for condos. The increase of that months that the property would be on the market until it will get under contract and eventually closing of escrow. So in February, you can slightly decrease, but I always like compare 30 days. It's kind of the micro data that you can see and understand how month over month the real estate market in Southwest Florida is doing, and a year ago. So you can kind of compare, see that 30-day time and the 12 months. I think it's valuable data, like in my opinion. So if you look in a showing per listing, so also showing per listing has been declined 12 months, over 12 months period. So so the buyer demand is definitely less across the board. There's no argument for that. You can see kind of mix 30 days period. So there's some places they are up, some places are down. And also let's talk about pending inventory is the homes that went under contract in the month of March of 2023. So you can see that it's less homes went under contract compared to the 12 months ago, except Marco Island on the single family homes. And in February, so compared to February, there's a little bit more homes actually went under contract in the month of March. As much in Estero on condos is 31% more went under contract in the month of March. So let's talk about medium price of last list price. So that's how far is the buyers was getting properties sold from the. So if you take the last list price as 100%, that's how much they was able to negotiate so they can close. So you can see that the numbers are straight down, the percentage of that straight down compared to the 12 months ago, but is straight up pretty much, except Bonita Springs, just compared to the 30 days. If we're talking about price per square foot, that's a sold price per square foot for the month of March on the overall. Now, if you're wondering about the neighborhood specifically, I'll be more than happy to run to you these numbers on the neighborhood, because every neighborhood, these numbers will be completely different. This is the average for the city, but as you know, and I know, you have condos from a couple $100,000 to millions of dollars, and every neighborhood is different. So all of the stats would be completely different. So if you do like specifically on the neighborhood, it would be more than happy to provide to you. So you can see the median price per square foot. Some prices is up or down. The same situation for the condos. They're not significantly even different, the price per square foot. You can see in Estero, actually, the price per square foot is actually went up compared to the 12 months ago. And like Marco Island went down by 2%. That's not a significant drop. Like the biggest drop on the single family homes was in Marco Island compared to a year ago is a 10%. And, if you would ask me, you know, why, like, maybe I would say because we still deal kind of with a hurricane, and maybe there was some properties that was affected by the hurricane, so they will sell price per square foot significantly less compared to the homes that were not affected. And that may something have to do with Marco Island compare, but Bonita, you can see it's a higher price per square foot in March of 2023 than we had in 12 months ago. So you don't see a significant drop in Southwest Florida real estate market value as of yet, right? So we're not here to predict. I'm here to give you a fact, a data that you can compare for yourself what's going on in today's market. If somebody tried to predict you, oh, buy now because the real estate will be continue going up, we don't know that. We don't know if we will have a recession this year, if you don't have a recession. We just don't have a crystal ball. So I'm here to give you the fact. I'm here to give you a data, and up to you to take this data and decide what is the best for your family. So you can see the price per square foot for majority parts, especially on the condos, they go up in just 30-day period. And if you look in medium sales price, you can see that for 12 months ago, it's kind of all over the place. But again, like it's not that significant. You know, in Marco Island, it's a little bit down by 10%. You know, and again, because when you look in the market like this, you look at overall, you look in so many different neighborhoods, communities that all combine together. So if you truly try and understand the market in your community, that would be the best, is to contact me. My phone number is really easy to reach, 239-249-4476, and I'll be more than happy to break down the comparable market analysis for your specific neighborhood. And I'll tell you, it's all over the place. Even if you compare the properties, for example, in Bundle Golf Course community, for the same home would look absolutely the same. Like seriously, you would, like if I would show to you two homes that would look identical, and you would say, Anna, why the price per square foot is like $100 on the same property to same square footage, but it's different $100. I'm just saying for discussion purposes. And I'll tell you this, because one could offer golf membership and those properties would be much more higher compared to one wouldn't offer golf membership. Those pricing per square foot would be lower. That's why when you look in this data, don't try to figure out like, oh, okay, so in Marco Island, 12 months, now it's went down by 7%. Well, yes, it is overall market. But if you look in your neighborhood, could be up 7%. So moving forward with dollar value. So the same concept, would like to share with you some up, some down compared to 12 months ago. And majority you can see that is definitely the sold dollar value in the March of 2023 is comparably more that sold the dollar value in 30 days ago. And you can see as much as 90% in Marco Island, Bonita 69% for the condos, Estero 114%, Bonita Springs and single family homes as much as 57%. And this is my last chart that I would like to share is the closed sales. And this is where you can see that across the board, except Bonita Springs, 12 months ago, we definitely see less closed sale. Closed sales is your closed escrow. It's the one that is done with all the inspections, everything is done, any financing, if any, and it's actually closed. The people got the key, and that's what the closed sales means for the month of March. And you can see across the board, they all down except the Bonita Springs. Month over month, you can see across the board that they actually up as much as a condo, 60% in Naples. Marco Island is 96%. So the buyers definitely step it in the season of 2023 and say, hey, we want to close before we go north, up north. And that's what they did. So we will see what happened in April. The next market report, of course, will be about 30 days from now. And yes, I just wanted to share with you the last chart. All right, so I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you find a lot of valuable information for you and for your family when it comes to the real estate market in Southwest Florida. And also, if you're looking to purchase or sell in Southwest Florida, I would love to give you my guidance and to share with you more information on a specific area that you're interested in. It's always easy to reach me. My phone number is 239-249-4476. You will have the information below also. And if you do like videos like this, please subscribe the button below. Google algorithm would appreciate that, and more people will be able to see and get more valuable information what's happening in Southwest Florida and throughout the United States when it comes to economic data. Thanks so much again for watching. My name is Anna Eckstein, MVP Realty, Naples Ultimate Selling Team. Thanks so much, and see you soon again.